Yeah, that's right. You're tuning in to the More For Me and You podcast. That's real interviews, real movie reviews, real people, real journeys. If you real, lock in. I've been working all night, early in the morning. If you hustle high, hustle, you can never waste a moment. That's more for me and you. 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 Let's go.
Welcome back to the More For Me and You podcast, where we interview guests across the entertainment spectrum, get to know their journeys, hear what's going about in their life right now, and then we also do a spoiler-free movie review on a movie that they picked that's playing on Mometu. And if you haven't heard our podcast before, thanks for tuning in. And if you could, go smash that subscribe button so you can not only listen to this episode, but check out some previous ones as well. We've had some incredible times with a lot of different people. I think we're up to like 30 episodes now. Having a lot of fun. And before we get into the episode, big thanks to our main sponsor, Mometu. It's a free streaming service that you can watch up to 10,000 different movies and shows, a lot of things that are just really underserved and not talked about enough. You can download it for free on your Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, Android, and any smart TV as well. Go check it out. Mometu. That's More For Me and You. And today, we have a very special guest. I'm very excited because I've been watching Big Brother for the last roughly 15 years. I'm not a super fan, but we have one of the super guests of the house here, Kyland Young. Thanks for joining us in the podcast, my friend.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. It's just funny you said, like, I'm not a super fan. I just watched the last decade and a half of this 30 episode per season show.
I've watched a lot of
so
episodes.
Many hours to
Well,
not.
look, it comes down to the fact that I married into a family of super fans. Like, I married into a family that has been watching Big Brother religiously, like year in, year out since inception. I kind of joined in like halfway through Big Brother, right? So I'm not a super fan. I didn't go back and watch the first 15 seasons to like, what did I miss out on? Nor do I know what happened on day 47 or like all that stuff, right? I'm not that guy. I would be the worst contestant on the show because there's no way I could remember all this stuff. Like as soon as I fall asleep, like I'm the kind of guy that sends myself notes or like sends myself an email to be like, hey, you got to get this done tomorrow. Because if I don't, like my mind resets sometimes and I just like, 2 days later, I'm like, I did not do that or whatever that is. Like,
I understand.
It's just how I am. Like Big Brother, not a chance. Comps, sure. Physical comps, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm 40, kind of dad bodding it. I mean, yeah. I mean, for
Feels
those
like
watching,
a father figure more than the dad bod.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I actually have a koozie that says that. Said it's not a dad bod, it's a father figure.
Yeah. I met a guy, I don't know if he made the koozie, but he's like a comedian. He's called Fit Dad, CEO. He does really funny content on Instagram.
Big fan.
Yeah, I just met him, I guess like a month or two ago now. But in person, it was really, because I was like, hey, it was weird. I was like, I like your stuff. And he was really nice.
Well, hey, Fit Dad, if you're listening, dude, love to have you on the podcast. I love your stuff. It was all over my algorithm for so long. Right when I had we have like a 3.5-year-old now, but right when we became a dad, he was all over my algorithm, like constantly. I was looking at baby stuff, like how to make sure this toddler does not, go away. Make sure they're safe. So, Kyland, we met at a red carpet event. So glad to meet you. Obviously, right from the moment I saw you, I was like, it's Kyland. It's Kyland Young. No way. Dude, Big Brother's going on right now.
Yeah.
I wanted to pick your brain real quick before we get into like your journey and your time. What are your thoughts on this season, dude? Like we've talked a little bit about it, but like there's been a lot going on.
I mean, and also we're talking, I know that this will air a certain time later, but this is right after the bombshell.
Spoiler.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. If you haven't caught up by now, sorry.
This is now you're 2-3 weeks late. So now it's on you. But yeah, with Rachel's, dude. I guess we say elimination. I don't know what to call it.
It's not really an eviction, but it is.
Yeah.
The mastermind's eviction.
Yes.
At least she's not. Is she the first person ever in BB history to be evicted without being voted out?
So when I was studying for Big Brother, I could answer that very I feel like I did know every single detail about the evictions, the order people went out, all of that. Right now I don't. So I could be wrong, but I believe that they've had at least one time, if not two times, of day one competitions where like on the very first day, whoever gets last or whatever it was, they're evicted or eliminated.
But they've also had like the bounce backs or playback, whatever they're called.
Yeah,
like,
battle backs.
Again, not a super fan, right? I don't even know the word.
No, of course.
But again, the battle back in there. So like those people got to battle back.
Well, no. There definitely was at least one person, if not more, who did not have a battle back. They literally very first week or very first day, they didn't even. I remember one of them even had like a record of like the least amount of time spent in the Big Brother house. It's like 7 hours or something like that. And excuse me. So I do know that there has been sometimes at least one time where someone was eliminated without a vote. And for me, I will say I'm not a fan, and I told you when we first talked about it, like I'm not a fan of bringing in experienced players with new players. Like I think and we saw this season I felt like we were watching an NBA player play against college players, and like for this cast, like Division II college players. So like I was not a fan on principle. And it's funny because when I watched Rachel's seasons, I wasn't really a fan of her. But then I met her and Brendan at like my first or second year, probably my second year after the show, after my season, and at like some charity event, and they were just so wonderful. And Rachel's so wonderful. And like, I know that she's, an advocate for a lot of social justice issues and just such a great person. So like I became a Rachel fan. And so when I saw her on the show, I was like conflicted because I was like, okay, on a personal level, I like you, but on a game level, if I want to remain consistent, I don't like this twist. But then as weeks went on, I was like, I mean, I don't know who to root for because this season's been very tumultuous and like I feel like the questionable game moves all around, and just with a consistency that just is. I feel like we have this Big Brother group chat, and it's been, I think there's like 30 something alumni in there, and there is just and it's public. It's like a free app.
Is it kind of split down the middle of like people like are happy that she was on the show or like?
Oh, no. Overwhelmingly people are happy. I also do feel like there's a little bit of like fan pandering that people do. Like, and that's one place I do like to distinguish myself is like kind of, it was just being consistent because I find it also because I do live streaming. So like, I'm like, it's very hard to play a position that's inauthentic, like 24/7.
Yeah.
And so I have chosen not to do that. And I say my thoughts and I consistently, and I think everyone likes to suggest that they do that, but like I have, a very strong track record of doing it. So, for me, it has been like, it was tricky because, she got eliminated and I was just like, I mean, yeah, like she also did have a chance to play this game. Like it's a twist I don't like, but she did have a chance to save herself and couldn't. And
look,
that's
take the Rachel factor out. First of all, she did get eliminated, not evicted. She got eliminated. So let's be real. She didn't get evicted, although she was probably going to be eventually because it was probably.
I mean, who knows with the decisions that.
It's true with the judges and all that stuff that's going on. So either way, she's the first, I would say, legend to be eliminated. So let's just be honest. Like, yeah, she's a phenomenal player and she's a legend for a reason. The fact that she kept calling herself the legend was, I always laughed at that because I'm like, stop calling yourself a legend. Like,
I agree with that.
Like you can call them newbies, but just stop. Like we know you are. Like we don't need to talk about it, right? So
yes,
I will say this is my conspiracy theory.
Please,
okay, because so many Big Brother fans will say there's conspiracy theories about like it's so scripted and blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, first of all, this shows that it's not.
Yes,
but I will say, if you are a conspiracy theorist, I'm going to go down this route.
Okay.
That it was scripted.
Okay.
Because we are only seeing this. It's an edited version. It's not live, right? Because there were a bunch of spoilers and all that stuff. And my wife even told me like, hey, there's a spoiler. Did you see it? And I was like, no, I didn't. Don't tell me about it. I don't want to know. And I want to watch it on Tuesday. But either way, it was like, it was edited and she was the first person out. first person to go to the house, right?
Yeah.
Which I personally feel like she's not going to there. She's going to actually get or maybe she is, and maybe her family's going to be there though. And they did this specifically so that she could say what she did on the way out, which was like, you guys better start playing hard. These freaking newbies, da-da-da-da-da, you better earn your vote. And like, maybe that's the case because like she is right. They weren't really playing Big Brother as you should be. They were pretty much playing let's float and see who gets evicted first, and then started kind of playing recently.
Well, I think that's my issue with her being there is I did want to see how these people would have operated without her. Because like in the early weeks, like I saw conversations that Vince was having. And Vince, like I wasn't even cheering for Vince. Like he was not on my drafted team at all. So I was like kind of against Vince because I was like, dang, he's actually pretty good. Like in the early weeks, he was showing a lot of promise that reminded me of like a Tyler or Derek.
Yeah.
And then just fell apart. But I significantly because of Rachel and people she was influencing coming after him. So I was like, dang, I wonder what it would have been like. Would he have been running things or Morgan or other people? And what would the environment be like too? Because you do have that. We saw it with 19. 19 was when they had Paul come back as an individual player.
Yes.
And I feel like we saw a similar kind of let's follow this person, even though we know we shouldn't, game-wise. And because, the returners, it's such a crazy advantage. Like, I'm strongly against it in concept. Like, even for myself, like, if I had the same opportunity, I would, not like I wouldn't do it, but I would be like, oh, man, this is extra pressure because this is such an advantage to play the game. We sat around my first week and we were like, I remember we were like, oh my gosh, it's crazy they have returners because I've been in here less than a week and I feel like I have miles ahead of anyone that's never been in here. And so she's won and she's played twice.
Yep.
And so it's just like such a advantage, her position. So I was, the only thing I would say on the conspiracy theories, I do know a decent amount of people in production that were on site during the event and that were a part of it. And, and they could all be involved, but I'm in general very anti-conspiracy theory because I always think about, I forget who said it, but they said like, if you ever somebody was talking about like the moon landing and they were like, if you ever tried to plan a surprise party and not have someone tell, like there is 10,000 people on this team
for sure.
or like however many people in production and like, but it is, it was a rough, it was crazy. So I'm interested.
Either way, it was crazy to see her go. Like, and it was just like the whole process of like, who you going to pick, who you going to pick, who you going to pick. And then just that came out and happened the way it did. Wild.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you one last question about this season, just and these will be quick answers of like names. Who from the first week, once you like kind of got to know them somewhat, before anyone was evicted, who did you think was going to win?
Okay.
And then as of today, who is your pick to win?
Okay.
And it could be the same person, right?
So I do know before during the first episode, I did pick, and it's documented, I was on TikTok Live, I did pick Keanu as my guy pick and Catherine as my girl pick.
Okay.
And obviously Catherine's out of the house and immediately started to feel some type of way within the first week or so. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know about these guys. But then obviously Keanu's been battling. So it's interesting. We'll see. But now looking at where things are, I mean, it's hard for me not to imagine that Morgan and Vince, like, or at least one of them are going to be in the final two, if not both of them. And, obviously anything can happen, as we've seen in this month of mayhem. They said it's just beginning. But we have 3 eviction nights left, and we have 5 people that need to be evicted.
Yep.
So I don't know. That means they need to have either a triple or 2 doubles or another twist, which I can't imagine them doing another twist where someone gets eliminated, especially knowing how people feel about it now. So, yeah, we'll see. But those are the 2 that stand out to me right now.
Cool. Yeah, from the beginning, I would say Vince was my like number one. And I think I really resonated with his answer when they asked him, like, what are you going to do? And he said, I'm going to do my best. I just really love that.
I missed that. I like that.
Oh, yeah, when they did the very beginnings, like when they they got like their envelope or they did a kind of social media thing.
Yeah.
Like they had to read something off a card.
I like that.
And it was like, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna bring to the brother house? And he's like, I'm gonna bring my best.
Okay.
And I was like, that's cool. And I just feel like then once you found out that he was like a super fan and kind of all that stuff, until he started crying, I felt like he was gonna win.
And crying's good if people believe it, but since nobody's believing it,
it was so bad. Come on, Vince. Come on, brother. If you hopefully listen to this episode one day, come on, man.
Send it to him.
And then, but now not that I think he may win, but I feel like he is like, I'm pulling for him is Keanu.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for Keanu to win because his closest ally in a sense was kind of Rachel at this point in the game.
Yeah, weirdly, his frenemies, straight up.
But I think he's going to bring, like, he's going to get with some people. I don't think the judges is going to be a thing anymore, at least for maybe one more week, depending on who wins head of household or how the mayhem stuff goes, blah, 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 whatever.
I don't know who in the judges
I'm
would
still
trust
gonna,
him.
I'm still going to pull for him because I think, like, at the end of the day, if the battle back stays or if it goes away, because that might be a thing, it might go away. And
Battle of the Block.
The
Blockbuster.
Sorry, yeah.
There we go.
Blockbuster.
Yeah,
Battle
we
Back,
got there.
Blockbuster. See, again, not a super fan.
Yeah. I believe you.
But the Blockbuster, if that were to go away and it just be a veto, like pure BB style, then I feel like he's still got a chance because he can take himself off the block by just winning comps.
Yeah, no, I think it is. And also it's weird because in my head, I'm like, well, they should be looking for an opportunity to get rid of him because of that competition win, especially when you get to Final Four. It's everything.
But they tried. They tried for like 4 weeks straight, right? So it couldn't get him. And then even Kelly surprising when he comes too. So who knows what's going to happen? I'm actually excited now. Now the fact that Rachel's like sparked a fire.
I am excited, yes.
And these quote unquote newbies are like, all right, we got to figure this out now. The crutch is gone. Like the Wicked Witch of the West is gone. Like whatever, like, you know, the legend, she's gone. Now they got to start playing and they don't have that person in their ear. They don't have, like, Ava doesn't have her pulling her to the side and saying, you got to do this, even though Ava hated it. It was like, hey, she gave you some pretty sound advice. Yeah. Like, she's smart. So that's gone. Now you got to play. So looking forward to see what happens. But this podcast, Kyland, we like to talk about your journey because people know you for who you are today, obviously being a Big Brother contestant, being on the challenge, and being soon to be on The Amazing Race, which is really exciting.
Yes.
Can't wait to tune into that on September 25th, right?
That's it.
First night. So excited for that. But no one really knows the amazing race of your life. Hey, look at that.
I like it.
Look at that dad joke popped in there. So is it a father figure joke? I don't know.
Dad joke. Definitely a dad joke. That
Kyland called me a father figure. Oh. All right. So your journey, dude. Where did you grow up? Where'd you live? Like, you know, what kind of kid were you? You know, kind of like your influences to be, you know, then we'll talk about a little bit when you get into your older life. But when were you as a kid?
Well, I grew up in Southern California in the high desert. So it's like about an hour and a half northeast of LA. And
in the IE?
The IE, yeah. But in the worst part, Victorville is exactly.
Oh, that's like North IE.
I always notice how when you talk to people and they are familiar with Victorville, because I think it's very, you know, we tend to just live through a lot of conversations passively, and I feel like it's kind of just human nature. And so people are just like, "Oh, yeah, where are you from?" It's like, "Oh, Victorville." It's like, "Oh, cool." It's like, no, you don't know it. Then you don't know. You don't know where it is. It's not
put
cool.
in perspective where Victorville is. Victorville is like north of the pass that is like near Big Bear, kind of, but Lake Arrowhead. But like keep going north. And if you've ever seen The Fast and the Furious, and you have someone that tells you like when Rome says like, "I ain't going back to Barstow," like Barstow and Victorville are practically the same town, except the only difference is like Barstow has like an outlet.
Like no. All right, Barstow has the outlet, but Victorville has a mall and it has a movie theater. It has a little bit more people. I feel like in Victorville we're like, well, at least we're not Barstow. All right, like that is kind of so it's one level above Barstow, but only barely.
It's really like if you leave LA, which town are you going to stop in to pee before you go to Vegas?
Exactly. It's in and out gas stop on your way to Vegas.
I've been to the Valero in Victorville numerous times. So
usually decent rates.
Because I grew up in Santa Clarita, so coming back from Vegas, we would stop in Victorville and then cruise across to go to Charlie Brown's across the Pear Blossom Highway.
I don't know Charlie Brown's.
Oh,
wait.
Charlie Brown, like the brown. It's like a brown build, like in the middle.
Oh, I've
between
never been
Victorville.
there. Funny enough,
Dude,
I've
it's
seen
so
it.
good.
Yeah, I've
they
seen.
have the
Okay.
best shakes. They have like these like animal, like the burgers that they have. Like
What city is that?
Bison
technically?
Burger, and I don't even know what the city is.
Yeah,
It's not. Well, it's definitely not a city. It's a town for sure. They have. It's a passerby town, but it's the only thing you stop at is Charlie Brown's. It's iconic, and it's between pretty much Victorville and like Palmdale.
Wow. Yeah. No. That's why I was like, I don't have many reasons to go to Palmdale, so I think that I've seen it. But yeah. So Victorville is a terrible place, but that was where I think it was inexpensive to live. It's funny. My parents. I had split households because my parents got divorced before I turned 1 year old. So, but both remarried. Very close, very involved in my life. So with my siblings. So I grew up with all of my siblings. We've never even acknowledged like a half sibling sort of deal. It's like I have 4 sisters, and I lived with all of them because I would just go week to week between my dad's and my mom's. But yeah, my dad and my stepdad both worked in LA commuting from Victorville. So that was another thing, is that like that was just normal to me. It's like when it's all you know, it's all you know. So even growing up in the 2 households was normal. Which was interesting, because that was 2 religions, 2 philosophies, there's just so many differences. And so then I ended up going back and forth. So I was in Victorville, and then pretty much until we graduated. I think it was just, like I said, it was just an inexpensive place to raise kids if you wanted to have a house. But work in LA, and that was, and we just wandered. I was like, growing up, I feel like I try and clarify outdoors, because I meet so many people and talk about like us being outdoors, and they seem to be in the woods, and we like had no green around us at all. So it was just kind of,
we're in the trees, the Joshua trees.
Yeah, the Joshua trees, just wandering the desert.
Pretty much a cactus.
Yeah, and it was so I mean, if we go all the way back, like I was now I know the expression would be like a nonverbal kid, because I didn't know that I was on the autism spectrum until Big Brother, because it's 3 months, 24/7 live feed, so people are watching. After the 3 months, I get out and I see messages, emails from people, and then even my sister, who's a social worker, has her master's in social work. She works with a lot of families, and she was like, "Hey, I've never observed you, but I noticed this." And she had gotten messages too, so I was like, "Oh, let's look into this." And so at the time, it was just a kid that didn't talk, and my sister would talk for me. Funny enough, my older sister, that was like the joke, was they would just ask her like, they'd be like, "What do you want?" And I would just look at her, and she would be like, "Oh, he wants this to eat or whatever." And nobody
you had close family
it.
ties of like and coping mechanisms that were there. But when you're in the Big Brother house, like you don't have those crutches anymore to like fall back on. You're like, I can't make this decision actually.
Well, it's that, and it's also the thing I try and explain, at least for myself, is how interpersonal communication is learned through osmosis, which is essentially you learn, for most people, for a neurotypical person, you see how to interact with other people, and you just do it because you're around it and because you see it. For a lot of neurodivergent people, especially on the autism spectrum, you don't learn that way. You learn through like taking notes, trial and error, but not automatic. Like it is, and especially if no one tells you, then you're just like, "Oh, that was an interesting interaction," but like you may not know why, and you may not feel the same things. It's not to suggest that like I don't have feelings or emotions, but they're just triggered differently.
Yep.
And so I've learned how to interact. I've learned about like so many things, but the coping and masking that I was able to do is that's the term that's typically used, was just I benefited from having such a supportive family. And so my mom would go to all my classes in elementary school, and she would just tell them like, "Hey, by the way, like here's some differences to pay attention to, look out for." And especially because for me it's autism and ADHD, but ADHD was discovered in college when 3 of my 5 professors approached me and were like, "Hey, have you ever checked this?" I was like, "What do you mean?"
What are you talking about?
Yeah. So then later on was after Big Brother. And so, but growing up, it just was a quiet kid, didn't necessarily, I tried to avoid recess a lot. I tried to just stay in with the teacher and ask them like if I could count the money in the student store or something. But like I was content. Like I just saw this post the other day that I reshared that said, people who feel good about themselves try to make other people feel good. And that's very core to myself. And I do credit my family, my parents, like they really built a self-esteem for all of us, I think. And it was really, I was just like, yeah, I'm different, but like that just is me. And doesn't make me less. And so
no, I think it's a great thing to be different at the same time, to be honest. Like, and to be honest, I've had limited interactions with you. Like we've had some interactions in person, and then obviously just, again, Big Brother fans will say like, I interacted with Kyland for the whole entire season, right? But it's just from a one-sided conversation, right?
yes.
But it's like, no, you're just a very kind individual. Like, and I think that's partly why you went so far in the house as well. You're just very kind, and you were able to have a solid social game. And so I think like your whole upbringing played really well into like people liking you.
Yeah, no, I think in a lot of ways, yes, but I also feel like it's just so effortful. I think that's the difference, is that it's like I'm paying attention to a lot of things constantly. And so I think that's the double edge of it, is that like in a lot of situations I can do it really well. And kindness is for sure like my default. So it's not even that, it's just more like making sure someone feels that way. And which in these games, not even just Big Brother, the challenge also has been tricky, because you're with these people so consistently, and and you're looking for a reason to not trust someone, because it's it's a game, and that people are trying to game you. And so that was the trouble that I have had at times, is like people will think that like they'll pick up on something as inauthentic, and because it is technically like my intention's there, like I care and I want to be kind or consider or whatever it is, but I have to very intentionally sometimes or usually think about how to do that. And so I'm paying attention to how other people are doing that, or what I've learned in the past about it. And luckily I think that people talk about like a hyperfixation for ADHD a lot, and I really feel like mine became communication. I remember my mom was trying to get me to talk to other kids and people, just learn how to speak. And so she would like bring me with her to events she would go to, because she was a real estate agent. She would a Chamber of Commerce meeting when I was a kid. So I like learned how to interact with people, and against my will very much. But I feel like as soon as I started learning it, I was like, oh, this is an interesting skill set that like is not natural to me. So let me just keep learning and reading about it and studying. And
for sure,
it's benefited me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think people need to definitely do that. Like on things that and it's not just that specifically. It's like all just things in life that your skill sets are not strong in. Like spend more time on those skill sets to like be like get around people that are better than you at something, and just to learn it and understand it. We had a episode recently with Bryn Norquist too. I am gonna butcher the word.
Okay, I'm curious.
Epistomophiliac is what she called me. She said, "You're a person that just loves to learn," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's kind of true." Like I'm a person that like knows a little about a lot. I always get those backwards. I know a little about a lot because I'm just always so curious. But then there's certain things that I'm like, I really lack in this. I need to spend a lot of time with someone that's really, really good at this, right? And so I'm not going to say I'm a great podcaster. Like it's only been like 30 episodes, but I spend time listening to podcasts because there's certain things that people do differently or better or whatever. And I just want to be like, good for the guests that come on and spend their time out of there. You come on here. I'm not paying you to be here. It's like, hey, we're just hanging and talking and chatting, right? Well, I'm out of here. I pay people in popcorn. So you've been
honestly, that is the best currency for me in this
so
situation.
But it's like, again, I don't want to waste people's time, right? Yeah. Like there's a lot that goes into this. And so like, I just want to learn how to be better at something that I haven't been doing for years. Right. So that's cool that you got a chance to do that. Like that your mom saw that for you. I mean, even though you're forced, you're forced upon your will to do it, but like, it's a good thing because I think it, obviously paid off for you in the long run. So, getting out of your childhood, you, and again, we didn't talk about, I think you moved to Venice too, right?
Yeah. So I lived in LA pretty much. I went to college in LA. I went to Pepperdine, and then sometimes I lived in Orange County, but I would always go to. I always worked in LA ever since I graduated.
Yep.
And I eventually during COVID, I was living in the arts district downtown, and I had friends that had, it was like 7 guys that lived together, and they were like, hey, we are craving like community, and, you know, we're tired of like the isolation. So we found this house. It's like a 10-bedroom house in Venice, this historic house, and it's usually a bed and breakfast, but they are listing it for rent because they can't have a bed and breakfast during COVID. So we're going to get it for a few months. Would you and my girlfriend at the time, my ex-girlfriend, we were living together in the arts district, and we were like, yeah, you know what, let's do it. And let me actually credit her because she did not really want to do it, but she knew that I was craving community and everything. And she was kind enough to come out, and she was a nurse, a ICU nurse. So she was in the thick of it. Like she was truly in the thick of it. And so, yeah, I definitely am just appreciative of that compassion.
What a cool experience to live in a house with that many people. Like,
yes.
and a great opportunity. Like I've heard of, obviously we talked to creators, and like I became a creator during that time, and or I did this during that time, whatever. Like I honed in this craft during that time and turned it into something that is big now, right? Started a business or whatever, right? So many stories that go off of that. What a cool experience to have, to be like, hey, like I know we're not supposed to be around people, but like you guys want to quarantine together? Like,
yeah, basically,
and just live and just like learn and whatever. Like that's
and it was a vegan household as well,
a COVID Big Brother house, if you will. Like,
no, it
no
was
cameras,
and it was funny too because all of them were creators. Almost all of them were some sort of creators or creative, and I was not, and that wasn't even really my interest. Like I was working a job I really liked. At that time, I was with Scully, an app for helping kids find scholarships. I was doing business development and partnerships, and really enjoyed it. Really liked what I was doing, and but was just I liked these people, and I wanted to have community because COVID was a little bit isolated, and so that was ended up being practice for Big Brother because I was in a house full of like all these wild personalities. And we were, isolated kind of because of COVID. So
sure,
you
guys did some comps, like just
not
Big Brother comps,
sure.
but just like, hey, how can we pass the
game
time?
nights at least?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was.
How many push-ups can you do in a row?
No, it was, and it's funny because I think that, like I said, some people were creators like at various levels though. But one girl I want to shout this. Brooke does everything on Instagram. She moved into the house because it was kind of we did end up have a few people only came for like a couple months, and she was like, I really want to. She was like doing, I don't even remember. She was doing like odd jobs, but she wanted to be a creator, and she now has like I don't know a few 100,000 followers on Instagram. She just finished skateboarding across America. She is presented with an award from Red Bull for being the first woman, and it was to ever do it, or first person maybe to ever do it. Crazy. And partnered with Red Bull on it. So like it just was really cool to see like people like that just started when you got to see them start to talk to the people there and want to do something, and then you see them do it, and it was a really special experience. That energy of the house, it did feel kind of magical, I will say.
That's so cool. Well, speaking of that kind of thrill, what kind of thrills are you into? Because I've kind of doing some research, you did some crazy stuff, but like, what's your favorite kind of go-to thrill?
Well, that's another one that just kind of came about somewhere in like my teenage years, because I was very like I would get a stomach ache if I saw like my sister get near the edge of a tall hill or something. Like I was just anti-thrill kid. I didn't want to do a roller coaster unless I had loops. I was tricked onto one once as like a teenager, and I was just crying about it. Like I was
Magic Mountains right there. So hey.
Yeah,
I grew up in Santa Clarita, by the way.
Yes,
like,
right,
like,
yes.
That was in my backyard. I used to
I
take
don't even
like
know if it was there.
I used to take it's been there for
No, I'm saying I don't even know if it was the roller coaster. I don't know where it was, but yeah,
may have been Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah, true, exactly. One of the two. I love Six Flags though. Now that's the thing is I love Six Flags. I love roller coasters, and I really do. It's funny. I think that there's sometimes shifts in your life that like, and it's really cool when you can kind of credit a moment. And for me, it really was. I was listening to this interview I think I was at some like, personal development event or maybe because I feel like I wasn't really using YouTube like that in high school. But Will Smith was in this interview, and he was talking about, I started attacking things I was afraid of because I didn't like being scared of so many things. And I was like, it just clicked. And I was like, you know what, that feels like something I should try. And I started doing it. And to this day, I think that I will chase like a certain level of discomfort. When I am about to do something, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of scared. I'm like, I should probably do it then. Like, and so that was the
Face your fears.
Yeah, face your fears.
You need to go on Fear Factor next.
I know. I heard they're bringing it back. Yeah.
Are they really?
That's what I hear. But
Let's
but yeah. So now I love roller coasters. The faster the better. I did end up going to skydiving school a few years back. That was really something I do want to go back. It's been a few years since I've been back, but it was such an experience. And I think I don't know. I haven't done bungee jumping, and I would really love. I think this is the first time I'm even acknowledging how much I want. I'd really love to like somehow find my way into like a jet, like a fighter jet. I've seen some people have been able to do that, and I don't know how. But if anyone knows,
you just need to get casted into the next Top Gun movie. So.
Yeah, I think that's what this experience with Big Brother has kind of pushed me towards. Is I don't want to say like dreaming because I've always been a dreamer, but like just because you don't see a path to something, like you can still call it out and be like, hey, you know what? And there's power to calling it out too. There's power to speaking something out. And, whether it's manifesting or whether it's just like connections and people finding out that like, oh, wait, I know somebody who has a jet or whatever it is, who knows what that opportunity is. But I think that's something that's high up on my list that like would be really cool to experience. And I've gotten to experience some really cool thrills in the challenge. And we had a car go off a cliff. We were jumping off of a semi truck, flying down like a highway to like try and hit targets while we were roped up. So like I've gotten to do some really cool stuff that I'm very grateful for. And I want to keep doing it.
Absolutely. Well, obviously I need to talk about Big Brother a little bit.
Of course.
We've already talked about other people's seasons, but let's talk about yours. What were your favorite parts about Big Brother? Like being in the house and like the people you met, like just overall, like there's probably a few things that just really stand out about your time in the house.
Yeah. Favorite thing about Big Brother for my season. Wow, there really are multiple things because I think I would somehow have to weight it between the friends that I made in the house for sure, the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
but also I got to be a part of like something that, it's reality TV, but it was still part of something historic.
Yeah,
and it was, we had the Cookout Alliance because Big Brother had a history, 22 seasons. They had 2 black players ever make it past even halfway in the game. So I feel like the mindset going into the house, because like representation's been important to me. And I think that because I have felt its impact, like when I see something that, or I see myself in something and it can be powerful.
Yep.
And so I remember going into the house and I was like, okay, like I'm going to be the one to do it. I have to be the one to do it. Like not just for me, but for all of us. And then I got in the house expecting to see like 1 or 2 other black people, like which was normally the case. And then I see that there's like 6 of us. And I was like, oh, so like now we have even numbers. Like maybe, and immediately it became, okay, my goal is not that I have to be the one, but I do have to make sure that there is one, that the winner of this season is one of us. And more on the side of like, that's been the interesting thing to like, I'm now not interesting, I guess maybe even annoying at this point. But to explain to people that especially, and some people are trolling, they don't want to understand, but some people come out in good faith and they're like, hey, like I want to understand. And they don't ask it this way exactly, but I can kind of sense when they are asking with a curiosity rather than like just a negative vibe or trolling. And they want to understand like why could this group work together and not other groups? And it's like, no, this is there's a shared experience in the black community that's different than other groups because I try and tell people like about culture. It's like, Irish is a culture, or there are different cultures across different races.
Yeah.
But for most African Americans that are descended from like the slave trade, you don't know that culture because you don't know the country of origin. So the bond is just being a black American. And it was, okay, this group has been excluded and sometimes explicitly, but a lot of times I genuinely believe like just based on unconscious bias. But unfortunately it happens, and that's why they weren't making it far, because it is a social game. And for us, it was like, okay, we want to be inclusive of this group that's traditionally been excluded in this exact environment. and we literally locked in on day one, and we're just like, hey, I think we named it day 2, the cookout.
Yeah.
And
Like,
we're
hey,
just,
this could be a thing.
yeah.
Like,
And
we can make it happen.
exactly. We never met. All 6 of us in the same room, for like 50 something days. And finally then we made it to the end, all 6 of us, the first alliance ever to make it to the end without losing a single member. First alliance of over 3 people. And yeah, so we made it. And then I didn't win, but I got pretty far, and it was a great experience. So to hear what that meant for so many people, because there are people that I'd been watching for a couple years, only myself, but I was a really big fan. But I talked to so many people who've been watching for so long, and just the things they felt. And then also to talk to past Black players who felt othered during their experience, like it brought them some healing. And it was an honor and a privilege to be part. Like I get chills thinking about it, because I remember we ended up doing like a little meetup with some of the Black alumni from Big Brother seasons. And we were talking to people that played the game 20 years ago, and it just was like, 10 years ago, different ranges, and hearing what it meant to them, and then, hearing what it meant to so many other people. So that was really special. And it's hard to, not, that's why, like, it's the most traumatic experience of my life. Like, it's for all of us, I think, or most of us, I should say, not all of us, but it is, there's nothing like it in the bad ways, but there's nothing like it in the good ways. And I had that extra good element to it as well that I'm forever grateful for.
Yeah, no, I think one thing that's missed is that people are so focused, especially people that are not like avid Big Brother fans. Like they just see the news headlines or whatever, and they just pick it apart trolling, right?
Yeah.
And so most people are like, oh, the African American Alliance like got together, like, all the Black people in the house got together and just made it happen. I don't think people understand how hard it is to keep an alliance together. Like it's not just the fact that it was like the first Black alliance to like make it that far and to do it and actually have someone win, right? It was beyond that too. It's like I don't think there's ever been an alliance that's been made on like day 2 that has made it all the way through either. Yeah. So to be able to keep it that secret and to be like, hey, we're gonna all be on different sides of the house, buddy up, and do all that. It was so secretive, and you guys couldn't meet in the same place or the same house. It had to just be in passing and be like, here, it was so well done. Like, I don't think people give you guys enough credit for getting all the way that far and getting everyone there. Well, like, almost everyone, not everyone, but like,
all 6 made it.
It's just crazy that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to get to that point, it's phenomenal.
I say, I feel I have humility for everything except for that, because it was that hard. Like the game is the hardest of all of these games. We have players that have played other games this has been the consensus, and we know it just because of the length of time and the isolation and so many factors for this game. But to move one person forward in the game is hard. To move 6 it's nice to have the numbers, but to move them without losing a single person is challenging. And also to just play the game. And I think it speaks to when you have something bigger, because sometimes we say that the things that helped is that we had a mission that was bigger than ourselves.
For sure.
So people would look and be like, wait, are they working together? It's like, oh, wait, no, because those two don't even like each other. And they didn't like each other, but they just cared about the mission more than that. Yeah. And so it almost helped in a way.
Yeah. You almost had to it was real, but it was almost like play it off the way like, hey, no, they actually don't like each other.
Yeah, it was
like, obviously. Were there anyone in the house that like of those group like people just really, really didn't like each other?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like there was a strong, legitimate like beef between like Tiffany and Derek. I think between Azza and Chada, if I remember, and between Azza and me that I didn't even know about. So I was like a one side that was funny because I didn't know how much she disliked me.
One of those when you get out, you see the video play, and you're like, oh really?
Yeah. And she's like, oh yeah, cool. I didn't like you, and I was like, what? And everyone knew but me. I think like I always thought I was like, yeah, keep it up, keep your joke, like you're doing great, and just but it's funny because that bond, like our whole cast is bonded for sure. But the cookout, like we have a group chat. I mean, this is 4.5 years later. I don't think we have more than a few days without a messages popping up in that group chat today. Like it's a family.
Yeah, I don't think people realize like how close you get when you're just in tight quarters or something.
Yeah.
So I have a question that I need to ask.
Okay.
My brother-in-law is a BB super fan, and I was gonna try to get on the phone like live to get a call, but like something happened with his internet fiber cable like got cut by some construction company down the street. Like tried to FaceTime him, didn't even go through. It was crazy. So I have a question from Danny here. It's a 2-part question though. So how did being filmed in the Big Brother house influence your actions? Like knowing you're being filmed to influence your actions? And then what was it like returning home without cameras? Because you're so used to have it like being filmed. Like did it, that whole just mentality of like, I'm being filmed, I can't, or maybe I can't do this, or I will do this, or I'm not going to change anything about myself, versus then getting home and like, did that influence how you were even before you were in the house, right? Like you started doing things differently.
Well, I say when people ask about the cameras, I would say that you don't some people say you forget that they're there. And I wouldn't say that I'm for sure myself, but I think that a lot of people, you don't forget, you just start to care less.
You get more comfortable.
You're just like, you know what?
It's hard not to notice a moving camera. Like, you know, it's
there. But you're just like, it is. I remember somebody in the house was like, yeah, like, I don't curse. And like, my parents don't think my parents still think I'm a virgin. And then by like the end, they're just sharing the most raunchy stories. And they're just like, it is what it is. Like, you can't hide you can't hide for that long. Like you're just on camera for so long that, you can't play a character. And so
like there could be one thing, like obviously Derek.
Derek and Xavier's job. Like,
True. But Derek was like, I mean, especially with any law enforcement, like they specifically on him, like, I can't tell people I'm a cop because they're going to think that I can get away with things.
Oh, I was thinking Derek Frazier and his dad, but yeah.
Oh, no. The Derek that won.
Derek Vassett,
Yeah. So I don't know his last name, but he was on the new show that
he's on BB Unlocked.
Yeah. Yep. So, I haven't watched one. So
okay, you're not a super fan, but Danny probably watched, right? Is it Danny?
I'm sure Danny's definitely checked.
Danny. So so I'd say that is you don't forget, you just kind of start caring less. So you might want to hold on to something, but there's just people are gonna see you just start talking. The only thing I will say on that though too is when people watch the live feeds, they feel like they have such a ownership over who you are and like what you are because they watch it for 3 months. So I understand why. One thing I try and tell people is how like when you watch and you think that you're like, oh, okay, well I know who this person is because I got to watch them for so long, and they make like character judgments a lot.
Yeah.
And I try and tell people that it is, you haven't been filmed this long. So you could be in the house you have somebody that's in the house for, however many months and 24/7. And then they say something that bothers me. I'm not even talking about myself because like I messed up and we've already owned up to that and everything's good. But other people that have said stuff that like, that was just so much out of character, and it's out of character even on the show. And I feel like people will watch it and it's like, okay, so you watch this person for, they lasted for 2 months, 6 weeks, whatever. And you didn't like something that they said for about 16 seconds. And now this is what you think. It's like, well, no, I saw, or they're just, one thing I've gotten in the habit of like one thing I've been trying to share more because I'm watching this season, people are judging is that like, it's really easy to look at bad actions of someone else and say that, oh, that's just their character. But for our own bad actions, that's just bad behavior. That was just me in that moment. And so it is really easy for us to do that for other people, but it's like, well, why not give the same grace that you want people to have for you in that moment to others? And so, because it's like people think that there's a quote of, if you squeeze an orange juice comes out because that's what's inside. And so they're like, yeah, like under pressure, we get to see who people really are. Sure. And in so many cases that can be true. But then there's also study after study on psychological studies that like, if you put people in outrageous, stressful environments, they act out of character.
Yeah, it's a pressure cooker.
Yeah, it's a pressure cooker. Yeah. And so I try and tell people to extend that grace to the house guests that you see. But so as far as the adjustment side, to circle all the way back, as I tend to try and do for Danny, the coming out of the house, I wouldn't say it's actually anything to do with the cameras. It's much more about the habits that you build. So like because you wake up every morning. Mm-hmm. And the announcer comes on and says like, good morning, house guests. It's time to wake up. Please replace your batteries, which I think is a choice. I feel like they could say your mic batteries, but they don't. They say your batteries. And I think that they're trying, like, because you start to feel like, am I a robot? Like, what's happening here? So you wake up, you replace your batteries. And I feel like I remember that, like waking up and like, oh, I need to do this, but I don't need to do it because I'm not even mic'd. That, and then also just interacting because you're so isolated. Like, you don't see production. You don't interact with other humans outside of the people in the house. So I remember, I think it was the day after, a group of us, we went to like a restaurant and the waitress came up and we had a moment where she came up and was like here to take our order. I was like, hey, how's it going? Good. And like, we just kind of looked at her and she just looked at us and we were like, what happens now? Like, like we forgot. Like it was genuinely like, oh yeah, okay.
Like, there's something we have to do
menus.
Next.
Let's look at this. And because it just, you're so out of real life, out of your normal life. And so that was a weird adjustment. It was like adjusting to the habits and interacting in the real life, in the real world in such different ways.
For sure. Danny, hope that helped.
I hope that helps, yes.
Love you, bro. All right. So moving on to The Amazing Race.
Yes.
Okay. It's coming out. Like this episode is going to drop like the Tuesday before The Amazing Race.
Perfect.
Hits. So it's
Thursday night.
Thursday, the 25th. What was this experience like? And obviously I know that like you can't tell us, but like what can you tell us about the experience?
Let me think.
Well, first of all, like A, why'd you do it?
Oh,
and then B, like what was it like? Just kind of, just like, or even why? Like, why were you doing it in the first place?
Yeah. Okay. So The Amazing Race was doing this Big Brother season. I'd heard about it, but I was actually planning hoping to do the challenge. And then I got the call that I wasn't doing it because I didn't match the theme. And it was, and which I was like worried. I was like, okay, is that real? Is that not real? It turns out finally the show came out. I was like, okay, I didn't match the theme, so I'm okay with it. They weren't lying to me. So that was a relief. But then it felt like kind of it worked out extra well because right after I found out that I had this opportunity to join Taylor for The Amazing Race.
Awesome.
And Taylor and I, she was the winner of the season after my season 24.
Yep.
She's the first. We kind of call our seasons like the I always say the Godfather and Godfather 2. She says the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Okay.
But it was, we have the cookout and then we have this season of Taylor Hale that is probably the most popular player to ever come out of Big Brother as far as that fandom. And she has just, 1,000,000 to 1 odds to win. She's I think on the block the most of any winner or something close to that. And, very heavily bullied in the house and everything. And goes on to win. And so many
Which
things.
is kind of why that's probably why I'm pulling for Keanu so much is because he's been kind of bullied it so much. Like I like the underdog story of those.
Oh, I see the comparison for sure. And that's what I've said. I've said like, if Keanu was either a woman or a smaller stature man, like an Ian from the past or something like that, it'd be a lot easier, I think, for people to realize like, oh, this is bullying. Like, and so many thoughts. But
now, granted, he not to
of course.
Now we're getting on the tangent, but he did say like, I want to pick you guys off one by one.
But it was just the clapping and the lack of clapping and the
treatment. Oh yeah, when like he won that the walkout,
the veto,
and he's like, you got a script, and it's like he was at that point he's like, yo, like this has gone too far.
It has, and they really they so many thoughts on that, but.
All right, but Amazing Race.
So Amazing Race, yeah.
Why are you doing it? And why did you do it? And then obviously, like, just what can you tell us about the experience?
I mean, Amazing Race was always something I wanted to do. I feel like ever since I got into the space and started watching. Excuse me. I feel like so The Amazing Race was one of the few reality shows that I was familiar with. I didn't really watch that much, but like. My dad had seen some of it, or my parents had seen some of it, and I'd like see it in passing or something, and none of them were like, lifetime fans, but I knew also, I was like, this is going to be something that like all of my family would really enjoy as well. And that was another fact, especially my dad, because my dad, like, he is so supportive. He doesn't enjoy these shows though, so that I do. But I know that he's really excited for The Amazing Race. So that's another little plus.
Cool.
and it just seemed like such a cool experience. I mean, and two of my friends, one of my closest friends that I met in the house my season, Derek X and Claire, they met in our season of Big Brother. They competed on the Amazing Race season 34 and they won, and so that was really cool. And then I was like, and he told me about it, and it just seemed really. And I watched his season obviously, and I was like, this show seems dope. I'd like an opportunity, but I was like, I'm never gonna have an opportunity because they just won. So like, they probably don't want any Big Brother people on here for years ever. And it was years, but not as many as I thought. And so I found out through Taylor that it was gonna be a family and friends season, like a Big Brother +1 season sort of deal. So it was like somebody from Big Brother and then a loved one of some sort.
Yep.
And then the casting had mentioned me because they knew that she and I had dated for a time and were like on off, and it started talking again. And first we were friends. Like after a season, she was dating someone else, Joseph, who's a really good friend of both of us, who's also on our season of The Amazing Race, and with his brother.
Awkward.
Yeah, yeah, you would. I mean, on face value, it would be.
Yeah.
But he is, and we're so similar, so it's funny, me and him. But we ended up he was going with his brother, and she and they hit me up, or Taylor told me, hey, they asked me about if I would do it with you, and we can, we love each other. We haven't been able to make it work because of like schedules and so many different things. But like, what if we use this as like a test to really see if we can build like what we can build here? For the race, it was like, let's prepare together, let's bond. And we were able to build like a really great like harmony between us in so many ways. And just preparing for the show.
For sure.
And then after the show, we still tried for a time to continue dating, and then kind of found like it not exactly aligning.
Yeah.
And who knows, like, what the future holds, sort of deal. But it, at the very least, it did build like a connection, a deeper connection between us. And so,
well, let's ask this question in a different way, because obviously I know, like, spoiler wise, you can't really have spoilers.
Yeah.
So I get it. I've been on a couple of your TikTok lives, and you've shouted out me out a couple times, so I appreciate that. But I know like the trolls will get in there and be like, "Oh, he blinked twice, so that means that this happened." And it's like, you guys are dumb.
I know.
So two things: A, did you have fun?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
B, are you really excited? Like, are you happy that you had this experience?
Oh, yeah, I'm very happy for the experience. I say it lives up to the name. It really is amazing in every way, and I'm really excited to watch, because the other thing that's interesting for the race, you don't get to see the other teams a lot of the times. So like for a lot of the shows, you're watching each other compete, you're competing right alongside each other. In the race, you may be miles, countries apart at times. And you have no idea what the other, and I know almost all of these people I knew. So when I got to see them, it was really exciting. I was like, oh shoot, you guys are all here. And now we'll see, I want to watch my friends do these crazy things.
Yeah, because now it's The Amazing Race.
Yeah.
It is amazing. And even with Big Brother, it's still like you're in a house together, but you still don't see all the conversations that are happening, and you get to see them after the fact, which is kind of cool too. So I'm excited for you. You get to do that. Dude, thank you again for coming on and do this. I really want to give you one moment before we go to the next segment, but can you look down the barrel? Just let people know where we can find you, whether it be social media, if you have a website, whatever it may be. Did you write a book? I don't know. Go ahead and write straight down there and let us know where you can find you.
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Kyland Young, and Kyland.Young on TikTok. I live stream pretty much every night, so come and chat, hang out. And yeah, and I also just say I love talking about the shows because I'm a fan of these shows. So like I love connecting with people, and that's the podcast Connections with Kyland. And so yeah, all those are the main channels. Like YouTube's Kyland Young. Everything's Kyland Young except TikTok. For some reason, Kyland.Young cannot get Kyland Young unlocked. It is something that I have.
You gotta fight for that, man.
I've been trying. So it's gone. But yeah, so that
at Kyland Young on TikTok. How much money you want?
Yes, and watch The Amazing Race starting September 25th.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick second, and then we'll be right back with probably the funnest time you'll ever have in your life.
Wow.
This or that. Talk soon.
All right, folks. It's time for our podcast promotion spotlight, where I like to shine a little light on a show that you may not have discovered yet, but definitely should. Today, I want to tell you about the Front Row Classics podcast. If you're a movie lover, especially of the timeless classics that shaped Hollywood, this one's for you. Each week, the hosts take you deep into the stories, the history, and the legacy of the films that continue to inspire generations. From Golden Age Hollywood treasures to underappreciated gems, it's part history lesson, part fan celebration, and all passion for cinema. So if you've ever wanted to sit in the front row and get a masterclass on the movies that built the industry we love, go check out the Front Row Classics podcast. Add it to your playlist, give it a listen, and make sure to follow along wherever you get your podcasts. Trust me, your inner film buff will thank you. Oh, and don't forget to check out the Mometu app and the incredible selection of classic films there. But for now, let's get back to the pod.
Mr. Kyland Young, at this part of the episode, we love to play a game called This or That. Would you like to play?
I'd love to play. I'll put the popcorn down so I can focus.
Awesome. And This or That is actually brought to you by our friends over at Coastline Travel. So whether you're looking to go anywhere in the world, back home, whatever you're doing, book a flight, book a hotel, book a rental car, or just go on to excursions and have a lot of fun, go to coastlinetravel.com and they will take care of all your travel needs. You've been enjoying that popcorn very much so.
I love popcorn.
And dude, you can go after it. I actually brought you your own.
Oh my gosh.
You can take this home with you and pop it.
Thank you.
And go download Mometu and watch a movie too.
Mometu. Well, I mean, I have it. That's why I watched the movie. But everyone else, download Mometu because there's cool movies on there.
Absolutely. Got 20 questions.
Wow.
There's no wrong answers.
That's my nightmare. Not the 20 questions, but just being able to answer one word for 20 questions. But I will force myself to do it.
You got this. I believe in you. I trust in you. You can do this. We'll do it together.
Okay.
Okay? 20 questions. No wrong answers. And the first question we ask to every guest.
Okay.
The rest of the 19 questions are kind of tailored towards you.
Wow.
The last few get a little deeper. So let's have some fun.
Oh, gosh.
Tacos or pizza?
Just so you know, I won't do this for every question. Just so you know, whenever people ask me about the shows, they're like, what do you like better, The Challenge or Big Brother, The Amazing Race? I say, I'm like, it's like pizza and ice cream. Or you say pizza and ice cream for The Challenge and Big Brother. And then when I added on The Amazing Race, I was like, it's like pizza, ice cream, and tacos. Like, how are you going to pick? They're just different vibes for different things. So this is my struggle with questions in general.
Yeah.
So I need to just add the disclaimer. I'm like, I'm going to make a choice, but I am not married to this choice. It is me forcing an answer that maybe I'll completely disagree with 66 seconds after I say it, but I'm going to try. These are answers for how I feel in this very second that you're asking, just for the record. But now I will say pizza.
I feel like we're going to have a lot of fun.
That's
with
it.
this.
Yes. I need that disclaimer for everything.
We're going to have fun with this. Podcasts or playlists?
Podcast.
All right. What's your favorite podcast?
Oh,
That's
me too.
not this one. No,
Impact Theory.
Impact Theory?
I like Impact Theory a lot. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't heard of that one.
It's
Let's check it
Tom
out.
Bilyeu.
What is it about?
He, people that are like, just he interviews different people that are like performing at a high level. He was the founder of Quest Nutrition. I think they sold the brand for like $1 billion or something
Yeah.
like that. And he just
Very
likes
cool.
performance. And yeah,
That's awesome. Nighttime or daytime?
daytime.
TikTok or Instagram?
TikTok.
TikTok. Why do you like TikTok?
The live connection, it's different than
More
the
interactive.
other lives. Yeah, the interactive.
For sure. Family lessons or personal drive?
Family lessons? What do you mean? Sorry.
Like growing up, family lessons, things that you stick with, like, or just your own personal drive. Like,
Oh,
hey,
okay.
I've learned this and I've gotten through this myself, and I'm gonna, teach it to myself, whatever.
I'm gonna say personal drive because my family has faith in, like, I'm fortunate that they, not all of them, but for the most part, they are like, this is weird. We don't understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
But keep doing it. If
Yeah.
if it's making you happy, like they really mean that. They're like, if it's making you happy, go
Like,
for
I
it.
don't understand, but I'm supportive.
Yes.
Cool. Personal drive, love it. You go to the movies. Are you eating popcorn or candy?
Popcorn. This
Yeah.
one is forever answer,
You're
actually.
really crushing this popcorn.
I'm struggling to not eat it because this mic is so close, and I know I am also a loud, aggressive popcorn eater. Like I'm like, shh, like anyone who goes to the movies with me ends up making a comment about my popcorn eating. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna subject you guys to that. So you can hear me talk.
I'm glad I could get you some more. I think you
Thank
should.
you.
You should probably pop that and eat it on a live, and then just have it be all up in the mic.
No, I might have to do this popcorn.
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I keep one of these in my trunk and sometimes in my backpack, but I ate my one. I keep emergency popcorn on me.
I love that. All right, you're watching BB. Are you rooting them on, or are you a critic of their gameplay?
Rooting on, guys. It's too easy to critique. It's too easy to hate. Just be nice. Be kind, at least.
You wouldn't be like, I would have done that differently.
No, I could think of that. I can observe.
Yeah, you still root them on though. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Be positive, guys. Spread the love. What tests your strength more, patience or stamina?
I would say patience. I feel like, and I only say that because I actually do consider myself a patient person. Mm-hmm. I've observed that. I've had that noted about me. But I still feel like I struggle with patience, as everyone does. But I've noticed that I tend to be better at it than most people, and who knows why. I mean, I have some thoughts, but many.
Well, I mean, patience is kind of stamina of the mind, but obviously that question is more tailored towards like patience or like obviously stamina of the body,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, stamina of the body. I mean, I'm like I always want to push that. It's like there's another Will Smith. He says like, you could be bigger, stronger, faster, but if you and me get on a treadmill together, like only one of two things is gonna happen. You're gonna get off first, or I'm gonna die. Like that's that simple. And I feel like that's the mindset, at least, that helps me push my body in the endeavors that I do.
Yeah, I mean, if a bear's chasing you, both people are not going to die. Only the slowest person is, right? Would you prefer to seek a mentor or mentor others?
I guess seek a mentor. Yeah, I think that there's, you're never too old to learn, and mentors can teach me how to mentor others just through example even.
Yeah, love it. Dodger dog or a double-double?
Oh, double-double, in and out. Yeah. I am in and out purist. There's like nothing. That's another family thing. Like we are strong in and out people.
For sure.
It's like, my mom met one of like the owners of Five Guys or something somewhere, and they were like, hey, like, have you ever been Five Guys? She's like, no, I'm in and out loyal. Like after he already said who he was, and she's like, no, like I'm in and out loyal. He's like, well, I respect it. I hope you try it. And like gave her, some gift cards, and I just was like, and we did, but it's just...
Look, I love Five Guys.
Yeah.
They have a very unique way of making their stuff, but there's just something about In-N-Out. My wife and I go there every family trip. So like whenever we get back from like any trip, if it's just the two of us or if it's like family trip or whatever, like we always go there. We just got back from like a family trip and we were so tired. We had just flown back from Hawaii. Like we had a toddler, and the closest In-N-Out to our house does not have a drive-through.
Whoa.
It is the worst in that sense. We were forced to go to Taco Bell because it was just the closest thing that was open. It was either that or Jack in the Box, and we're just like, all right, Taco Bell it is. Let's go. So, but yeah, In-N-Out is like usually our go-to after every.
And it's the value.
Trip.
I always tell people that. I'm like, I'm not saying it's the greatest burger. I'm saying for the price, nothing touches it.
Yeah, but there's also just some type of like experience that you get from being there. And now the whole like 6-7 trend, like
I know that.
Oh my gosh,
what is it?
I don't know, dude. I'm 40. I don't know.
You already know.
No,
in fact, you knew 6-7.
All the kids like they say 6-7, and it means nothing. Like
yes,
it's just
I found that out. It means nothing, which is crazy.
It's from a song that some rapper had, and it just says 6-7, whatever. But no, in In-N-Outs right now, it's like all over like TikTok. They'll just be a video like so the guy will come to the microphone like order number 67, and like people like 6-7, like go crazy. And so there was this one that like I loved it because there's this one kid that like he gets up, he's like order number 68. Like,
I love it.
And then he says order number 6-7, and then he finally everyone goes nuts. But like it's a thing. Like,
yes,
I don't know. It's a dumb thing, but like to be honest, I love that it brings people together. They laugh, they joke, all that stuff. Like I'm all for it. So
I need to
whatever it is, do it. I
needed to embrace that part of it.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was bringing people together. That does help with perspective because I was on TikTok Live and one of the kids, this kid Jason, who's been like, he's like an OG, like he's always in the lives and super supportive and everything and funny. But he's young. He's like a freshman in college, and he said, he's like, hey, can you say 6'7" for me? And I was just like, why? Like, are you setting me up for something? He's like, no, like, it's just like a thing. And I was like, oh, 6'7". And he's like, oh my God, he said it. Ha, 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 ha. And I was like, what is this?
It's like if people remember Pee-wee's Playhouse and like they say the word of the day, that's pretty much what it is. That's their
fair, except it's
no
nonsense.
Pee-wee's Playhouse?
No, the 6'7" thing.
You never heard of it right there. Even Ken hasn't heard of it. It's just
it's nonsense.
It's a thing.
But
it
if it's bringing people together in a harmless way,
all about it.
I support
Do your
it.
thing.
You're
Have
right.
fun. Younger Kyland would be proud of you today or surprised by you today?
Ooh, I mean both.
Yeah, you got to pick one.
Okay.
It's this or that, not these.
I would say surprised because I think that to a certain degree, I'd say like pride was expected. Like once again, the upbringing, like it was like, hey, you got to do something positive, productive. And that was always the plan, but it was never anything like this.
Yep, for sure. We got a big brother question. Slop for a week. Are you eating slop for a week, or would you rather do Judd's 24-hour confinement room?
Oh, 24-hour confinement room.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
Is
slop's
slop
not that
that
bad. No. Slop's not that bad. But once again, the patience, I don't mind being alone.
24 hours of just pure silence in your thoughts and nothing else.
But that's so much of Big Brother. Like when you get to the end, especially like because you within a few weeks you've talked about all the things there are to talk about.
Yeah. But so to put in perspective, there is a room.
Yeah.
There's a room that someone created that is like literally the sound. It's like a soundless room, and people have tried to go in there. It's like 3 hours is like the max of time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like,
okay.
Like
I didn't know what this was.
Like you can hear your own heart beating in the room.
I'm so curious though to experience that. Like truly,
dude, gnarly. All right, if not TV, would you rather do nonprofit work or tech startup?
I would probably lean tech startup in the sense of the company I was with Scully, and Scully's a social impact company, which is basically a for-profit company that does good and helps people. And I think that if you could do both and increase your impact even more than a nonprofit, then why wouldn't you?
Yeah, actually, shout out to my friends at AdGood. It's a tech company that does advertising, and actually, what they do is they partner with nonprofit organizations to help get their commercials out on like OTT streaming, or like on television, like so like Mometu or other places, and they get their nonprofit organization ads onto streamers for free. Like, well, not like they still pay for it, but they pay a massively discounted rate in order to get the advertising out to help the nonprofit with their budgets. But then like it would be like Mometu, we would give them say 5% of our advertising space at no charge. So for us, it's a write-off. Yeah. Right. But
that's cool.
But then for AdGood, they're helping kind of bridge that gap so that more people can learn about nonprofits within their. So I think there's a nonprofit specifically. Like I'm a big fan of Laura's House in Orange County. They've been fighting against domestic violence in Orange County for like 30 plus years. And they work with the sheriffs and all that stuff. It's an amazing organization. But what they could do is they could say, hey, Laura's House, we'll help you with the advertising that you pay for to promote your stuff in Orange County, which they do. Hey, we can do it at a discounted rate, and hopefully they can get twice the amount of volume at the same spend or something like that. So
I like
really
that.
cool
That's
organization.
Really cool.
AdGood, shout out to you guys. I don't know if you're listening to this or not, but hey, if you do, there it is.
That's really cool. I like it.
Appreciate what they're doing. Star Wars marathon or Lord of the Rings marathon?
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
I love both.
Yeah.
But I was just glad you didn't say Star Wars or like Marvel because that would have been a struggle.
Yeah. Like if I say like Marvel or DC, is that a struggle or?
No, I mean,
kind of.
No, because I have Superman tattoo. Like I love Superman, but Marvel's just has a larger
for sure.
Yeah, repertoire of movies.
More important for growth, failures or victories?
I mean, failures. Yeah, it's always more to learn than failure.
Yeah. We need to get rid of participation medals. We need to get rid of 8th place medals. Like all that stuff hopefully is already gone. If not, it needs to be. Because, when you don't win, it actually helps you grow more sometimes. I mean,
Well, and also I think that there's something about like that we haven't. I think there's like overcorrection sometimes. It's like, the participation trophy for, people's children's like self-esteem or whatever for not anything.
sure.
But then it's just like, what if we instead like teach the winners how to, uplift the losers or something
sure.
like that? I feel like there's a balance to things, and we tend to just move in extremes too often.
It shouldn't just stop at 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Like it needs to go further than that, right?
Yes.
All right. So, what do you admire most? This is again another BB conversation question. I'm sorry.
No, I love the shows. I am a super fan.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, I know you are.
Me and Danny, we're here for the Big Brother questions.
What do you admire most? Strategy, social game, or being a comp beast?
I mean, wait, are those three different things? Or are you calling
like strategy / social game, like
Okay.
obviously being on the side of like not winning comps,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or being more of a comp beast.
Okay, well, since you added the /, I'd go strategy, social game. If it was
Okay.
just purely social and comps, it'd be harder for me, even though like I know social is more important, but I'm just better at comps than I am. So, but strategy adds another layer that I really like.
Yeah, because obviously like Keanu this season is a comp beast.
Yeah,
right. Like Kelly
Yeah.
is kind of like looked at as a comp beast, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But like their social game is not really there, right? The strategy behind telling everyone I'm going to get you out one by one, not really the best strategy, right?
Yeah.
But there's like players like Ava who are being very smart with their social game in a sense, right? Like she's kind of floating, but
I think it's Derek. Derek Lavazza.
Derek's
he's
by far the best social game
truly
strategy of all time.
Mhm.
But he also, I'm sure he did win it.
He won like
comps,
one.
right?
Yeah, he won
Not a comp beast,
a
but
couple.
like,
yeah, which is and then and Tyler I think was so close to that, but just slightly didn't count for like a bitterness and as much as, which is hard to measure. That's why I feel like I was worried about in my season. It was like a bitterness, and probably made decisions at the end because I was worried about it that I didn't need to. So that's interesting.
Yeah. All right. This is a long question, but what's the best zing? Gotta love Zingbot.
Mm-hmm.
Cody's about not making enemies except Christine's husband. Or Liz being more excited to meet Austin's mom, dad, or girlfriend.
Oh, definitely Cody's. Like, yeah, I love Cody. I love him. But that was a memorable, like I had to try and remember this Liz one right now. I think Cody's, that might be the most memorable thing ever.
Yeah.
It was just rough. Yeah.
Those are like the two most memorable ones, at least are most talked about, most controversial.
Yes.
Yeah, Cody's my answer is Cody for sure. Leading into this season, I really, really, really want Vince and Morgan to both
They need to bring it back.
They both need to make it to Zingbot. I gotta hear that. So
Yes.
Zingbot, if you don't know what Zingbot is, you gotta look up Zingbot. It is the best. And if you just look up like YouTube videos of Zingbot, you're gonna be like, this is so dumb.
And also, you have no
like-
context. You're just watching like some be mean people, and half the jokes you don't even understand.
Dude, Zingbot's the best. I'm so glad that they do that.
And it's coming up. Has to be coming up soon. Maybe this week.
Is it?
Might be.
Is it 7?
Something like. Oh yeah, so maybe
I think
next
it's
week.
7.
So maybe
I
next
think
week.
it's 7. So I think I got. Well, we don't know.
Exactly. They might do a double eviction this
Boom,
week.
boom, boom. People
Yeah.
going out of the house left and right. Who knows what's going to happen? Packing for the BB house or packing for global travel? What do you prefer?
Packing for the BB house. We have laundry there, so we can wash stuff.
All right.
Washing clothes in a sink.
But you only get a limited amount of stuff to bring, right? You get one
Oh,
bag.
you have whatever you can carry on your one bag. Yeah. Well, so you can have 2 bags, but we took the strategy of bringing one bag because I can carry as much as I can carry stuff for all of us if we minimize. And like me with the pack is going to be a similar speed than with Taylor without. Yeah.
Yeah. When with the BB house, like, do you have to leave enough space to make sure that you can bring home like props?
No,
and clothes
fortunately
and
you
stuff like
don't.
that?
Yeah, because they give you the Big Brother duffel bag.
All right.
That's like
yeah.
That's like my favorite takeaway. I think was the Big Brother duffel bag. That's one that I hold close to me and my key.
Yeah. But was it also fun, like just having a small bag with you for the Amazing Race, just like keeping it small and
No, I mean, and that is
Sorry,
nice.
yeah.
And also you really feel like an expert packer. Like
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
oh, I can bring enough stuff. Like, because they tell you to pack for
You're
like,
oh,
you
I
know, a
can
month.
fly Spirit Airlines.
True. And you know what? I just met with Derek X this weekend, and we went to Vegas, and he didn't realize that the ticket that he bought was like one of the like.
Like
This
the
dude, he won $1 million,
cheapest. Yeah,
but he's like, nah, let me pick the cheapest ticket.
Yeah.
And he found out like as he was packing, he's like, oh man, I can only bring one tiny backpack, and he rocked it. And I was just like,
Yeah.
and he's like, well, it's no problem. I know I can do it. So
I love it. This is going to be a tough one.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. It might be. Maybe it's not. Julie Chen Moonves or Phil Kogan?
oh man, I will say Phil. Only
Okay.
because Julie, we noticed we had a Hannah Chada from My Season pointed out. She's like, Julie's kind of the harbinger of death. Like, she is awesome, she's an icon, but the only time you see her is when she's coming to take away someone from the
Like,
house
oh,
to
no, Julie's on
evict them.
again.
Yeah, you're like,
Hi, Julie. You look amazing. What are you going to say?
yes,
You know,
exactly.
like,
Yeah, she's going to mostly deliver bad news of some sort. I mean, it's good news for somebody to leave, but like, and then the only time you're seeing Julie is when you're evicted. So it's like,
true.
So I think that negative aspect is makes it harder.
Who's a better host to the audience?
To the audience, Julie.
Yeah.
To the cast, I think just by the nature of what I said, like you don't interact with Julie.
Yeah.
But you do interact
You
with
know,
Phil.
Phil.
Yeah.
Live in the BB house or run the Amazing Race for the rest of your life?
Oh, and for the rest of my life,
Yeah.
the Amazing Race.
Yeah.
Like yeah. See the world or see this one room. It is. And even I think virtually any length of time, I think would be the race because it's exhausting, but it's also what an experience, you know.
Dude, I'm really excited to tap into the Amazing Race this week. Cannot wait.
Yes,
because this episode's gonna.
That's cool.
I mean, obviously
this week. No, this week is cool.
It's
it is
cool,
it
right?
is.
It's there.
Yeah,
It's right around the corner.
And
dude, it's gonna be. I cannot wait. Cannot wait to see your race, your travels.
Oh gosh,
I know you're excited too.
I am.
But dude, thanks for playing this or that.
Thanks for letting us play. I love games.
Yeah, whether you're going anywhere in the world on your own Amazing Race, go to coastlinetravel.com to book your next hotel, flight, or excursion. Go to coastlinetravel.com. And with that, we'll be right back.
All right, it's time for today's small business shout out. And I was scrolling through Instagram the other day and stumbled upon something that immediately caught my eye. A tiny little startup called Anchorton Sauce Company. Now, when I say tiny, I mean tiny. They don't even have a website yet. If you want a bottle, you literally have to DM them or drop them a comment on one of their posts. But here's the thing. Their small batch hot sauce looks absolutely amazing. You can just tell it's made with care, quality, and that little bit of fire we all need in our lives. So if you're like me and you love supporting the little guys before they blow up, go grab a bottle today. Once again, that's Anchorton Sauce Company. And let me spell that out for you so you don't miss it. Ankerton. Anchorton Sauce Company. Show them some love, buy a bottle, and let's help this little startup heat things up.
We are back with Mr. Kyland Young. And Kyland, I gave you one simple task. Download Mometu on your Roku, Fire TV, your Apple, your Android, or any one of your smart TVs, all 50 of them that you have in your household, and pick one single movie on Mometu. We have over 10,000 titles to choose from, and you picked the 2016 crime thriller
Hacker.
All right. Why did you pick Hacker?
I just love crime thrillers. Like I'm not I'm not super big in like scary movies. I love movies first off in general. But I think of some of my favorites are like, you know, the suspense crime thrillers and this added in the hacking element. And I like that there's an organization like, you know, that is trying to, you know, hack against the system and the, you know, nuances of the morals of that. And so I think it just was right up my alley.
Awesome. And what was like your first take after watching it?
I think my first take is it is familiar, like not like familiar like plot line, but familiar like vibes. Like I don't know. I thought of like a Limitless. I thought of which is a very, you know, non-hacker movie, but just kind of the vibe of the storytelling reminded me of that.
Yeah.
And The voiceover. I never looked it up. I don't know if this guy's voice is in something. I'm sure he is in something else, but it just felt so familiar. Like that's I think where that first familiar. That's why the word familiar first came to mind. Is his voiceover, and I don't mind a narration. Like I don't mind especially for some movies don't need to be as long as they are. And like I am actually all for I love a long movie, but not when it's doesn't need to be. And I think that they use voiceover for a lot of exposition story building that kept the pace fast. And I don't know. I feel like it just reminded me of a lot of different movies and in a positive way though. I enjoyed it. I was intrigued. I was thinking about it, questions about it. And I think it also mirrors, like I said, the hacker organization that is trying to step up against the system. But like, where's the line of their own morals and is an interesting question that I like to think about.
Yeah. And then for those of you that have not heard of Hacker before, it's kind of like what Kyland said. It's a crime thriller, but it's also about kind of like the hacker system, right? Like getting into the system, the black web. And it's about this kid, Alex, who he is a Ukrainian refugee. Like his family immigrates over to Canada. And then his parents are kind of like dealing with stuff. So like, dad becomes an alcoholic kind of thing, like deadbeat in a sense. The mom's working like jobs, and obviously she gets to a point where she loses her job. And Alex is like, well, hey, I've been kind of learning computers on the side. And he starts becoming like a hacker on the black web. So it's kind of the premise of the film. Then he gets to kind of some deeper stuff and some petty theft. But then also at the end of the day, he comes back and has some kind of morals about himself too. So I really loved the film. It was an incredible watch. I've actually personally seen it like 3 times. So I really go back to it. So if you're really looking for like a fun film that you more than likely have never heard of in this genre, definitely check out Hacker. Did you root for Alex? Like despite his kind of criminal activity, like was he still worthy of being like rooted for?
I'd say so. I think, and that's something like I do appreciate as much as I appreciate, like I said, the nuance of, is this a good character or not? I didn't mind for the story. I think it made it more enjoyable to have somebody that like you could pretty consistently root for, and also that he is, he's a smart, capable, resourceful person. So I think that I appreciate that too. He's not like constantly making like every decision that you hate.
Yeah, for sure. It was a fairly small cast.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess so.
It was a lot bigger. Like my take on that is like it felt a lot bigger than the limited cast that it had.
Yeah.
Like think about that for a second.
I didn't think about. I was
Isn't
like,
that
it's
crazy?
basically Alex, and then Sai, and then eventually Kira. Like Kira comes so late in the movie relative for like her role.
Yeah.
And
then you got Zed and you got the parents.
Yeah.
And then
And
you got some
parents
like
kinda,
very small side role. Like the parents are kind of side roles. Then you got the jeweler that's a side role, right? Like there's some very small side roles and some extras.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the number of people like talking on screen is very limited. But it feels so much bigger than that.
Yeah. And they have a fun like the storytelling style of like revealing stuff, over time. Like starting in one time or not like a jumping time, but like starting with an opening scene that like you understand more of later in like a way that and multiple times they do that. And I appreciated it.
Yeah, it was really cool. Did it feel more of like a gritty tech thriller? Or did it feel kind of more like a crime drama? Or was it kind of in between?
I mean, I feel I guess more in like the tech side. Or I guess more crime, like because they don't get technical. I guess they never really get suit technical. You see him how he signs on, but then effectively he's selling stuff and a lot of his IRL like sort of interactions. So I think that it's probably more in the crime side, and but it has that. That's why I think of like a Limitless or something, because it has like it's not crime in the sense of it's different to watch them sell stolen stuff than it is to watch them steal stuff.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a step removed from the crime, but like it's still happening, but it feels cleaner in that sense. and then also the fact that like they are working with the hacker organization that wants to, go against like the corporations. That also makes it easier to cheer for some things, or at least like give a pass on some criminality at times. So yeah, I think it is a crime. I wouldn't say gritty crime, but like it is like the modern suspense crime like thriller. That's not too dark.
What's crazy? You say modern. This was made 10 years ago, but that's the
Yes.
weird. That's the crazy thing is it's still relevant.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
if you think about like kind of the real world aspect of like identity theft and cybersecurity and cyber surveillance, even like Big Brother, silent surveillance, like getting surveyed all the time
there.
and like seeing cameras all the time and like being like you're always watched now. Like,
and can you trust what you see?
Yeah, we talked about that recently on like on Stony the Great's episode, where when Stony was we were talking about like how like there was a post that he put on social media and how like old school technology was almost a blessing, because like if someone called your house phone and you didn't answer, they had to leave a voicemail in order to get in touch with you. And then there was like pagers, and then there was like eventually like flip phones, and then smartphones, and now it's to the point where like, dude, like you're being watched at all times. There's always cameras on you, and then on top of that, if someone calls you and you don't answer, they're gonna leave a voicemail, maybe. But then they're gonna text you.
Yeah.
And if you don't answer your text, or you leave them on red, or don't even read it or whatever, and you just like see the notification, you read it from there and don't open it, whatever, then they're gonna go to Instagram and be like, oh, did this guy go on Instagram and like post something or respond to something or like something or whatever?
Yeah.
And like it's crazy. Like you're never left alone. So like even though this was again 10 years removed, there's still aspects of this that is still relevant today, which is crazy.
No, I very notoriously amongst my friends am known for my phone is on D&D virtually all the time. Like, unless I forget, unless it turns off on accident or something like that, and they hate it. But I'm just like, that's how communication works. Worked is that So for me, and also I don't have like kids or anything, so I'm like nobody needs to reach me that importantly. Like I can check my messages later on. But they hate it.
Having a level of privacy is important.
Yeah, or unreachability. And I think, also with the shows, like I get used to being unavailable for months at a time with no phone. So it's,
Very true.
But no, it is like, I think and it's such an interesting part you say. I was thinking modern just, post, I guess 2010 or something.
No, for sure.
But
in the technology
you can,
era.
but you can look at technology to gauge, how technology is such a symbol of time is interesting.
Yeah.
Like it is if you see flip phones, okay, they're in this time period versus this one, whatever. Usually that's the case. And I think it is, and you feel that here, but which I think lends itself to the technology in the movie is older, but it does feel modern. And like you said, it's so relevant to a lot of the conversations and thoughts. I mean, the only thing it's really missing is AI. Like to be super relevant right now, but
absolutely.
as far as the general themes and conversations and plots are very current.
Yeah, and coding and all that stuff that they were doing is incredible. Were there, and again, without listing any spoilers here, this is probably the hardest question to answer about that.
Okay.
Were there any moments of this film that stood out to you?
There's a line. They said something about how and I'm gonna misquote it.
No, you can paraphrase
it.
Yeah.
But it was something about how the drug dealer or the drug addict is a part. I actually did have it in the notes I kept out.
No, yeah, pull it up. Absolutely.
They said drug addicts make mistakes, drug dealers commit crimes. And I think that was not that I'm very pro accountability in general across the board, but or I guess I'm very pro accountability like across the board. However, I'm also very pro like compassion across the board. And I think that there is a lot of knowledge around how different circumstances can, make people more or less likely to eventually find their way to some sort of criminality that they wouldn't normally want to do. Just desperation, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that they show that with this character. I mean, you see him in the beginning with he just wanted to take keep his mom from losing her house. They're already refugees. They already had to, leave their land. And he's like, wait, I just want to do this. And then you, especially when you're being, when she's getting I think it's in the description, so it doesn't feel like a spoiler that she got fired from her job and is going to lose her house.
Yeah, it's early on in the movie, so it's not really a spoiler.
And he's like, and it's very unfair, the whole situation, the way it plays out.
Sure.
So I think that there is, I don't know, I think it's a slippery slope of like excusing crime and you don't want to get there, but you do. There's some country, I'm blanking out on what it is, somewhere in South America that has done very well with reducing drug use across like their capital and the places where it was worse. And I remember I watched or read this is years ago, probably a decade ago, and the president or one of the administrators or whatever admin of the country said, we stopped looking at drug users as criminals and started treating them as like people that need help. And that through doing that, they were able to help able to decrease the drug use as a whole when they didn't treat them that way. And I think that this film, that was a line that stood out because it's just something I believe is at least thinking about things compassionately.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't stand out to me, but that's such a cool line. I got to pay attention to it because I will watch this movie again. Like it was a good watch for me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
As far as this film, who do you think will enjoy this type of film, and would you recommend it?
Oh, yeah. No, I would recommend it because I watch a lot of movies. I love movies. That's probably my favorite hobby is watching movies. And so I get asked about recommendations. Normally I say well, what are the movies that you like? I think about answering that in terms of through the same logic. So I'd say like people who like Limitless or people who like even heist to a degree, like the modern, like a Now You See Me or something, or
for sure,
not few movies are at the level of like an Inception, but it is that like heist element of a thriller that has some sort of I'm sure that there's others. It's like faster paced than a Heat, because it's more modern than like a movie like Heat, but it still is that I feel like a pace of like an Italian Job, but
I was just gonna say Italian Job.
Yeah.
It was on the tip of my tongue. I was like waiting for you to finish your phrase there.
Yeah,
and again, I'm not gonna say
funny,
that, I'm not gonna say like I mean, well, granted, like you're looking at like the level of the cast, right? Of like, I mean, Italian Job has some of the best actors of all time, like across.
Oh my gosh,
the spectrum,
the cast
right?
is insane.
Which like. Not only are you going to get the writing that they were given, but they're also going to get all those ad lib improv takes that they also add into and add their dynamics to their characters. So like, it's hard to just compare, but like the vibe, definitely the vibe of that. Like, I
mean, it's a vibe, and also I think, and this just is maybe more to Mometu.
Yeah,
I feel like I didn't know what to expect, even like and so I think that it didn't feel like you were watching like there are some streaming services that you watch and you're like, okay, like these people are struggling, like you're struggling to watch it. And this felt like, it's like, oh, I'm not familiar with these actors. It almost reminded me of like when you watch like a British film or something. It's like, I don't know any of these people, but like they're all good at what they're doing. And, and the movie's well made. It didn't feel like it was, shot at like a lower quality, even like you said, the scale is big. And I think that was another element of both Mometu and then also the film itself.
For sure. Did you get a good amount of time to kind of go through the app at all, or how much time did you spend?
I do enough time to. I like the navigation just being kind of more randomized.
Yeah,
and that you are
the user interface or not a selection.
It's easy to look through, but I also like that it's not. You're not being pushed one thing. It's like more. I don't know if it's customized based on your interest because I haven't done enough of it.
No, it's
or
not.
If it's just randomized.
No, so how we do it is we actually hand curate all of our content. And so when you go to the app, when I go to the app, when Ken goes to the app, or when anyone that visits the Mometu app checks it out, it is completely the same for every person.
Okay.
And so what happens is that we actually curate the content to the way that we want you to be exposed to it.
Okay.
So that you do get exposed to content you typically would have not clicked on or maybe seen. We'll promote some indie films that are like made for under 10 grand. We'll promote some international films that you may or may not have clicked on because your algorithm would have never presented it to you. We also have we saw each other on the red carpet at Greg Berman's comedy special. So Greg Berman's comedy special is live on Mometu right now as well. So it's the first comedy special that we've brought onto the platform, which is really exciting for us to do that, and to hopefully work with more comedians in that aspect as well in the future. But we present all this different types of content. Now, what's your favorite type of genre?
Wait, how do you pick? I mean,
so we work with tons of different partners with their content, and we work through it, and just we bring all this content onto the platform, and then our team goes through, and shout out to Charles, director of operations for content curation. He goes through and actually sets all these titles around and everything, and moves everything around and curates all these fun. We have Echoes of Elm Street instead of just saying classic horror. It's just a little more playful and fun, right? I think we just created a it's a Asian collection. So this is multiple countries of thrillers and horror films, and we named it Shadows of the East.
Okay.
And so it's just a little more playful and fun.
Yeah.
So again, we have all that stuff, High Noon Heroics and all this stuff. So again, going through the app, you're going to find stuff that's just a little more unique. Sleuth or Stream is another one we just recently created. So it's all kind of spy movies and stuff, right? But let's just say you're into what genre really?
I mean, I like so many, but let's call it the psychological thrillers that are the suspense, the heist, anywhere in that space. Anything Christopher Nolan.
So you can go, Christopher Nolan. We don't have Christopher
Nolan.
No,
that vibe.
I get you. This is all a lot of underserved content.
Yes, sorry.
So you can go into genres, go over to crime, and you're just immersed in just a world of crime, right? You can go into if you wanted to get deeper into that, you could go into the vibe section, which is our niche category, and you can go to something a little deeper. So if you wanted to go into Korean cinema, or if you wanted to go into we have a section called Black Voices, and so within Black Voices is obviously our Black content, and we have broken down from comedy, thriller, action, suspense. It's all broken down. We even have stuff Nollywood, from international stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we have all these broken down, and then we have a whole section, actually, it's called World Cinema. We have it broken down by country, and you can get really into cinema from different parts of the world, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And so everything is curated like that, but it's done, again, all done by our team, by hand, so that you get exposed to stuff that you normally may or may not have done so, because an algorithm's only going to present, like you mentioned, a very small amount of content, because based on what you've clicked, what you've watched, what all that stuff, right? So
yeah, you don't get to think outside of what you normally see.
Yeah, and there's another. So we have two other cool sections. There's a section for just shows. So and most of the shows we have are going to be either independent shows, like small budget shows, or we do have some classics which are in there, which are really cool to kind of go back in time and see some of the older stuff, like the Merle Burton or the Milton Berle show, and even the Lucy show. So not I Love Lucy, but the Lucy show.
Oh,
we have that. We have some other really cool stuff. We have the Beverly Hillbillies on there. So going, some classic content there. And then we have a whole section of channels. So if you're into MMA fighting, we have a section called or a channel called the Lights Out Sports channel. And Lights Out Sports is actually Sean Merriman, who's a former Charger player. It's his channel that it's extreme fighting, MMA fighting.
Oh wow. And
it's just all the fights on just a full loop. So we have a cooking channel. We have some stuff it's just, there's a whole mix of content. And so, again, all that stuff done by hand by our team. So, sorry that I went a little deeper into that.
No.
Kind of that tangent in there. I'm talking more now, but it's more just to we have, I'm glad that you felt that.
Yeah.
It made me excited, because it's man, that's what we're working for. We want to have that experience for people that typically are only going to get it served 1% or maybe less than 5% of the content on another app, and you get to use this for free, which is really cool. So there's no risk, all reward.
I support it. Hacker got me interested in I want to see what else is on.
That's awesome. Well, dude, thank you for coming on. Thank you for obviously reviewing Hacker, but more than anything, thanks for sharing your journey.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for sharing a little bit more about yourself. Hopefully, if that's the first time people are hearing that about you, like, and knowing more about Kyland Young, like, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Got the exclusive. No. But, and then obviously to touch on it one more time, go check out The Amazing Race coming out Thursday, September 25th. If it's past the 25th and you're listening to this, go back. I'm sure you can go watch
CBS,
the episodes
Paramount
again.
Plus, it'll be, they'll be showing it all.
Awesome. Kyland, dude, thank you so much for coming on. I really
you, Brian.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
We'll have you on again.
I'm excited. I'll come back.
Let's do it.
The movie. Yeah, I told you. I'm really at a loss for words, so I love rapping out. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. I'll see you on TikTok. Later, bro. Thanks for spending your time with us today on the More For Me and You podcast. If you've made it to the end, we appreciate you. Now, go do us a quick favor. Please like, comment, and share this episode. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode with the incredible guests we have coming up. You can also follow us at Mometu Podcast on Instagram and on TikTok. Oh, and for your next movie night, check out the Mometu app. It's free and packed with amazing movies and shows you've probably never seen. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in the pod.